This Hangout on Air is live. 80 episodes. That's right. You're listening to the 80th episode of Electric Fan Cave on electricfeast.com. Holy smokes. Corrigan Vaughn and Kristen Latterell here, along with our pal and comics correspondent, Mack Petersen, on this fine November evening. We're so glad you're here. In this week's episode, we talk Stan Lee's Comikaze, the latest comic book turned TV show, and some craziness going on with Jon's Oliver and Stewart over at HBO. Plus, there's a new Star Trek in the works. Nick Lachey is a marijuana mogul, and somehow the world did not explode from the awesomeness of a hangout between J.Law, Amy Schumer, Chris Pratt, and Aziz Ansari. Dude, let's talk!
I did not know it was 80 until you told me right now.
It's episode 80.
Wow, this is
happy anniversary, guys.
This is really momentous.
Yeah, it's very momentous.
Yeah, you should have prefaced it by saying that. I feel really honored to be the guest on an 80th episode.
I know, well, see, yeah, because Mac, here's the thing, is our track record is we do really well on the 10s. Our 10s are really good episodes. So you got to really bring your A game tonight.
Is that a track record that we have?
I feel like it's kind of a track record.
I think that might be one of those facts you just kind of pulled out of your ass right there. That's not really a track record that we have.
You said it after episode 70. You were like, we do great 10s episodes.
Oh.
Let's just believe it's true because it's keeping me confident.
Great.
Like, my confidence level is high to know that, so I'll believe in the lie.
Good.
Excellent. It's not a lie. I swear it's a thing, you guys.
Yeah, clearly this is going well.
It's already starting off. It's starting off great. How's everything, you guys?
Good.
It's good. I got to wear boots today because it was kind of cool-ish.
Ooh, oh my gosh! You don't even have to freaking talk about layering today. Was the best. I went through like 2 outfits before I left. Like one, I put like way too much thought into. Like I picked all of my favorite like layers that I miss wearing, and then it looked terrible, so I had to change it. But it really came to a great center, I think.
It did. You know, I saw Mac walking down the street, and he had like the big coat on and everything, and I was like, hey, working it, doing that autumn look. Fall clothes are fall and winter clothes are the best clothes, so I'm always waiting for it to cool down so you can do the good layers and all that kind of stuff.
The Old Navy across the street from my work has had their winter display up for months, and it's just been empty in there. I have to walk by every time I go to lunch, and I'm like, oh, those poor bastards. Oh, sorry, because it's so hot out, and then today packed, like lines all day, people buying like sweaters and scarves and whatnot.
Yeah, and everyone was walking down the street, like, clutching their sweaters to themselves. Like, let's be real, it was 70 today. It wasn't that cold.
But from the heat wave we've been having, that is very exciting.
Yeah. It's so brisk. It's cold out now if you go outside now at night.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But when I was walking through town earlier, it was not. But everyone looked like they were freezing, like they were expecting to see their breath billowing before them. And there were a lot of boots.
The other night, actually, I left Mother's, and I was on my way home. And I had walked out, and it was like cold. It was like kind of cool, and it had been kind of raining. And I'm like, and I like breathed. And I'm like, no, it's not even close enough to be that cold. But I was so disappointed. And I was like, even a little embarrassed that I tried it. And I kind of looked like, hopefully no one saw me be like,
That would be hilarious, though. I love the
Some guy was walking by being like, nice try, sweetheart. I'm
like, you can still have your pumpkin spice latte. Don't worry about it.
No, I don't drink those, but to each his own.
To each his own.
But anyway, so yeah, I'm getting cold.
Yeah, which is nice. I'm a fan of that.
Which was wonderful. I was just saying to Mac and you both, and you yelled at me, but PSA, everybody, Little Giants is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm doing after this.
So
that was very exciting because I've actually been wanting to watch it for like. And Devin Sawa tweeted this picture of this couple that was Icebox and Junior for Halloween. I was like, oh my god, I want to watch Little Giants! And then I found it. It's on here.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie so much. That was one of probably the first DVDs I ever bought.
Yeah.
You know, when I had my own money to buy things, and I'm obsessed. It never gets old. Like, it's funnier and funnier every time I watch it, which is a glorious thing.
I don't even remember the last time I watched it, so I'm really excited. Because, like, Devin Sawa, too. I can't even.
It's delightful. Mac, I know that means nothing to you, but Devin Sawa, you know. Devin Sawa being such a heartthrob.
Of course.
Who did I had to explain. I had to explain someone being a heartthrob to Mac the other day. Do you remember who that was? I don't know. There was someone.
No.
There was someone we were talking about on the way back from
Yeah,
Comikaze,
but
and Mac was like, "What was he ever even in?" I was like, "Well,
oh, right,
he's
right,
kind of a
right, right,
heartthrob."
right. Yeah, yeah. No, I remember that really distinctly, but I remember that I got it confused with I had that own moment like recently. It was like he used to be a heartthrob, like thinking about just some obscure guy. So it's happened a lot with me recently that I'm
Yeah,
getting them
this
mixed
is like a
up.
recurring theme of your
It's a
life.
reoccurring theme. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's a sign of something. I don't know what,
Ouch.
but it's a thing. But yeah, we
Yeah.
went to Comikaze this weekend, which was super fun. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you, sir. He said hello.
Hey, Sean,
Oh.
stop texting me about Flash before I've watched it, by the way. Very rude.
Sean,
I know it
come
wasn't
on.
technically a spoiler, but I would have really loved to have seen that line in real time. Well, not real time, but the time that I watch it, which is real to me.
Was there a line?
Aw. Huh?
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah. What did you
Just
say,
something
Mac?
I don't even remember a line. When was there a line?
Well, I don't know. It hasn't been
I-
on because it's on
In
tonight.
Flash? Oh,
I believe she said line,
oh,
not
oh.
lion.
Yeah, a
I was like,
line.
oh,
L-I-N-E.
oh, okay. Well, speaking of the Flash, I got my today. I got at work. I ordered a Central City detective badge. I got that.
Ooh.
Really cool. It's like big and gold and shiny, and it came with a chain. So
So
that's
do you have
Ooh.
cosplay plans?
no. It's just part of my badge collection now. 'Cause
Oh.
I have a couple now, so I'm thinking about getting more and just kind of having a making a collection out of it.
I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean says, I'm sorry, it was just so exciting.
It was a good one. I grant you that, but
Yeah. You know, on the grand scheme of this week and spoilers that have been going around, I feel like that's not too bad.
it's not. It really wasn't even really a spoiler because it wasn't like it gave away anything of the show. It was more just like it was like a good line. I'm like, oh, I wanted to have seen that. Like, don't tell me anything.
This is why when we do like our recaps of Mindy and so forth, I have to wait until I'm watching it because if I like get ahead and read it, I'm like, ah, darn it.
Oh yeah, I know, me too. Or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I always have to wait till the next day, and then I watch the episode, and then I go through and read all of your things, and I'm like,
We need to get you an antenna so you can properly watch Brooklyn
let's be
Nine-Nine.
real. I'm probably still not going to do that. Although I almost went to the Fuente the other day to watch it, but then I was too tired, so I just went home.
Well, you made a good decision because there wasn't a new one.
No, it wasn't. It was on the Halloween episode night.
Oh, the Halloween one. Then you made a bad decision because you should always watch the Halloween Brooklyn Nine-Nine live. Come on.
Whatever. Anyway, Comikaze. I was telling Matt his costume was wonderful, and then I was like, was it? And he's like, it was a real bulletproof vest, except it wasn't bulletproof.
Right. Yeah, it's an bulletproof vest. Mac, why don't you talk a little bit about what you wore there?
It was just as hot as a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, Mac was dying, just
So hot.
dying.
The entire time I was making this outfit, and people would come into work, and I would bring it up, and I would explain to them what the outfit was made up of. They would always be like, "You're gonna be really hot in that." I'm like, no, I won't. It's on Halloween. It should be cold on Halloween. It's like really banking on that.
Yeah.
Like the universe will give me a cold day on Halloween because that's what we need that. But no, we were out and walking around. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like Mac had this smile on his face that was like just like I'm in pain and I don't know what to do about it. Just gonna smile here.
I had to embrace it.
Yeah, exactly.
Memories of the con are kind of tainted by that. Like in a way,
just
like
discomfort.
I had a really good time, and the outfit looked really cool. And
so who were you? Let's.
Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of build up. But
Everyone's gonna be like, that's kind of a letdown. Not gonna lie.
lame payoff. Lame payoff.
I'm expecting you to be in like some huge costume, like you're a robot or something.
Like it wasn't even as cool as like Marty McFly. We're talking about that vest. Like no, I went as Commissioner Gordon, and I was wearing like a bulletproof vest that said GCPD across the front. But I really like Commissioner Gordon a lot, and just like over the past year or so, I've just come to really appreciate him, and I got the idea for the outfit. because I was thinking about people I could dress up as where I could keep my glasses on because I don't have contacts right now, and it really keeps me away from wanting to do outfits right. And plus, like when you're at a con, you really want to be able to see stuff. And
Yeah,
I hated,
generally.
like, yeah. So even the year I went as Spider-Man, I only had my mask on half the time, and I just wore my glasses around. But even when I had the mask on, it was terrible, like not being able to just see what was going on.
Yeah, that seems like it would suck. I mean, that's usually my thing when I see people in cosplay that are really intricate, and especially ones that cover their faces. I'm like, that's cool that you look like that and everyone can take pictures of you and all that kind of stuff, but, like, how do you enjoy the con?
I think it's the day that they really go all out is the day that they don't plan on enjoying it.
Yeah, they just walk around.
Modeling, you know. Amy from work was telling me about
our correspondent for those.
Our correspondent. I forgot that she was on the cast, but
yes.
She told me about a group costume that she did with some friends that was like twisted Disney princesses.
Nice.
And they had like an Ariel that had contacts in so she couldn't see, and like the Cinderella couldn't see. Like she was just basically explaining that a lot of their outfits, like basically they were blind and they were like leading each other around, like three girls who could see and two that were blind that were just like, you know, shambling through this con dressed up like fucked up Disney princesses. But it's just like that just sounds not fun at all. Like that just sounds terrible. So I never want that. I never want that. So,
I think you're right, though. It's like you have to make a day that you're going to like go and do fun things, and then a day that you're basically walking the runway of the con.
Right. Like the day that you know where people are taking pictures, and you're going to go to that, and you're going to go to the like meet and greets, because they do different like themed meet and greets and stuff.
Yeah. By the end of the day, though, you know, partway through the day, Mack was thinking like lucidly enough to be like, you know, next year I'm gonna be Gordon on vacation and wear board shorts and like, you know, an aloha shirt or whatever. And it was like, I was like, do something comfortable. And then by the end of the day, it's like he'd forgotten. It's like he was back to planning on other people that would require like full...
what you really do is you want to one up the people that you're seeing, and like I've never been to a con wearing an outfit where I didn't come away thinking I could do better, because there's people that just bring it, and I'm like I want to be on that level. And like I really thought that this costume was like I'm really bringing it because it's so detailed and it's so like it's not a Gordon that people have seen, but like you see it and you know it's Gordon, and that's really cool because it's got this like distinct look. But I still felt like, man, I could have done this way better.
Yeah.
Like,
but to be fair, though, like, you see a ton of, like, you mentioned Marty McFly and his vest.
Right.
Like, well, Marty McFly's, and there was one other Gordon who was, like, similar to Max Gordon there.
He wasn't even a Gordon. He was just, like, a GCPD detective.
Oh, I just assumed it was, like, a lackluster Gordon.
Right. Oh, like I don't have a mustache Gordon.
Yeah, like he hadn't just gone all out, you know.
Well, I guess he could be Gordon from Gotham.
Yeah, exactly. He could be
right.
Younger, clean-shaven Gotham.
But I mean, for every costume that you see a tier above you, you know that your tier is above other levels of costumes.
Right.
Not to put it in that way where I'm putting down other people's outfits, but like objectively there are outfits that are better than other outfits.
Right.
And but I came away from it being like, I'm gonna do like SWAT Gordon next year, like all black, more layers of armor and a helmet and a mask and a shotgun, like, because you just want to look like you want people to take pictures of you. You know, you want to be like,
which was cool. I will say, you know, walking around, it was fun getting to see like people asking to take pictures with Mack, and then our friend Long, who you know as well, he went as Dr. Henry Wu from Jurassic Park / Jurassic World. And which was great. So that's the B.D. Wong character that's in both movies. And it was amazing. Like when people realized who he was, it was like this. Like Mack was pointing out like the moments of realization.
It was like waves.
Saw him.
Like yeah. No, but
Yeah, and so it would be like they'd kind of look like, is he in costume?
Yeah,
Like, or is he just dressed like that?
Yeah.
And then, like, when they realized he was in costume, they'd be like, wait, is he? And then they'd realize he actually was, and
you
they
could
would be
like
like,
see the thought processes, like
in their
yeah.
face, like every tier of it, like But it's funny. It's funny because once people got it, they like it was really like people like really were into it, and I feel like costumes like that even tend to get like in a weird way more attention. You know, like because whenever you go on like on Comics Alliance, they do like the best cosplay of that week, and I love scrolling through and seeing like who they picked, and there's always like people that are just like really clever, but it's just so on point, but you know it like took like just like two things thrown together, but it's just so good. And that's really what it was, and it gets attention.
Yeah. By the way, Amy says she's Chromecasting this on her TV while she works on a project. Amy, we just mentioned you a few minutes ago. So hey, girl, what's up? Good to know you're watching over there. It was exciting because I've never gone with anyone who really cosplayed before, other than like Long putting on his normal Louise Belcher ears.
Hey, Bree was Jubilee last year.
That's true. Bree was Jubilee, and we got a great shot of her with another Jubilee. That was awesome, like straight up out of the 90s cartoon, and that was awesome. But yeah, walking around and being like, oh, people are so excited about these costumes. This is really fun.
Yeah.
And, it really enhanced the experience for me. But it was a great Comikaze overall, and I was super excited. I'll show my sweet books that I got that I'm most stoked about. This is The Untamed.
Ooh.
And it's a big, thick book here. This will be up on the Electric Feast. I haven't edited together all of our stuff yet to make my yearly Comikaze reel, but I will. The art is gorgeous in this, and I'm obsessed with it. But I've been following this because if you're familiar with Hunger Games, you know the character of Rue, and Amanda Stenberg is the actress who played her, who is this incredible, inspiring teenage girl who's a super activist and amazingly brilliant and all that kind of stuff. And so she got together with the team who made this and is working on this other comic, which is a spin-off of it. So that is called Niobe, and you can see her name at the top. Yeah, that's her. That is Amanda Stenberg right there, and she wrote it. You can see her name at the top. Also, so weird moment. I was so excited getting to see this, and I saw her walking away, but I didn't get a chance to meet her. But if you see the name here, May, I'm sitting here, and Kyo,
Misty May? Just kidding.
No, not Misty May. Who was a Costa Mason, but is not who we were talking about. Daryl May is another one of the guys who worked on this, and I was sitting there with Kyo, who you all remember from last week's episode, and he was like, that guy looks so familiar, and I had just gone up to him, and Daryl May had gotten all my stuff signed, and he was like really sweet and all that, and then I Facebooked, I Googled, and I was like, all right, Daryl May, and his Facebook came up, and I was like, wow, we have a lot of mutual friends, and then all of a sudden Kyo's like, Daryl! I know him! And so he walks up, and we're like waiting, and Daryl's signing stuff, and he looks up, looks at Kyo, and just goes, Kyo! Like, what? And he went to school with Kyo's sister at Vanguard, so we have a ton of mutual friends and stuff. But yeah, the guy who created this, I believe his name's Sebastian A. Jones, was a super cool British dude, mixed race, and he really wanted to create a diverse sort of universe. And as he put it, he's been working on it for like 25 years. It's been a thing that's brewing in his mind. So he's created this very intricate world within it, and I'm really stoked to get a chance to sit down and read this whole thing. But it's rad. I'm super excited about that. So that was probably the coolest thing of my Comikaze, that and getting to see Tommy Wiseau yell, "You're tearing me apart!" which was incredible. But I wouldn't go talk to him because I was terrified of him. Oh, and I met Uhura. I met Michelle Nichols.
I was like, wait, is that what's going to be your best thing? I was severely misjudging you. And you're like, who else did you meet at Comikaze? Daryl was the most exciting part?
No, that was it. The Nichelle Nichols was so exciting. I can't even process it. I mean, she's lovely,
and I'm
a
video 3 times in a row. I'm like, this is not real. And her her little wave, it was just, she was adorable.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because it was like I didn't realize she was like holding her hand up until like I was saying like you could see my mouth moving and I was like, oh, I think he got it, and then I looked and I was like, her hand's up, straight into my salute. I was like, oh, come on, Corrigan.
Did you tell her she was on your wedding strudel or whatever?
I didn't. No. Oh, I should have said
on your
something.
what?
My wedding pie. We didn't have a cake. We had a pie. And so
a picture on it?
Well, so our toppers, you know how they usually have like a bride and groom?
Mm-hmm.
It was Uhura and Sulu on top of ours. Mm-hmm. And so I had a little action figure of her on there. And it was magical. A brief meeting, but life-changing, delightful. Yeah, that was my highlight. What was your highlights, Mac?
It was really cool seeing Stan Lee with Todd McFarlane and Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee.
Yes.
I mean, like it was really cool because it's just like, well, those people are, they're unparalleled in their field. Yeah. And when you work in a comic book store, you can't turn around without seeing their name in some fashion or something. So that was really cool, just to say that I got to see them talk in any way. I mean, I honestly kind of felt bad later because I just didn't really give that much attention to them as much as I wish I had. Because I was spending most of my time looking for you guys in that room.
Right.
And so I was like walking around, like, blah, blah, blah. But the moments that I was like, well, I can't find them, and I gave up, and I was just watching, those were really cool to see them talk. And
it was an incredible dialogue because it was sort of celebrating Stan Lee in a sense. Yeah. The man's 93 years old. He's, still quick as a whip, all
super
that kind
modest.
of stuff. And the greatest thing about, and we talked about this on the way home from the con, but the greatest thing about Stan Lee is that he knows how important he is. Right. He knows he's a very significant person. He knows he is why comics are what they are, all of that. But at the same time, he doesn't need to feel like he doesn't need to feed his ego constantly, where a lot of powerful people just still need to be told how powerful they are, you know? Right. And so when people compliment him and things like that, he's so quick to turn it around, and be like, yeah, that's fine. Right. But let's talk about Jim Lee. Let's talk about Jim. Right. Such an amazing person, and does these great, incredible things over at DC. And let's, he's constantly sort of bringing other people's talents to the fore, and that was so cool to sort of witness these guys who came up under him, get a chance to sit on stage with him and talk about the ways that he'd impacted their lives, but for him to then turn it around and be like, and let me tell you why these are such important figures in the next generation.
I mean, it was almost like
pretty cool.
It was so iconic in a way that's like such a once in a lifetime kind of way. Because you're right that Stan really pioneered the field, and these people were the people that came after. But at this point, the people that were up there with him, they are just titans now. Yeah,
they're icons in their own right. Absolutely,
like titans talking to God, basically. I mean, in a way, but it was just so like. It was almost like hard to believe that we were so lucky to see that. And even though I know that this is probably really commonplace at that con, but this is my first time being in Comikaze.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee, I think, is really interesting because he's really successfully branded himself. Mm-hmm. But I feel like out of a necessity to survive, because his royalties. I mean, I don't know all the details of it, but it seems like he doesn't really get much money off of what happens from the movies and things like that. I feel like he wouldn't be as present in the game as he is if he didn't need to be, just to live.
Right. Yeah.
Although
I will say, to a certain extent, I also think it's genuine passion. I mean, if the guy wanted to retire, he could retire.
Well, I mean, but I don't know. Maybe not. Like, maybe it just seems that way. Like, what if
he's 93?
Like, what if he's living? Yeah, but what if he's 93 and living at home in like just like a one-bedroom apartment?
Mac, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, that's not the case.
I really love this world though that you've created in this life for Stan Lee. It's like this poor, like disenfranchised old white man who lives in a walk-up above a Chinese restaurant.
I'm just saying.
He doesn't have any family, but they always come over for his birthday.
If he had seen the profits that he should have gotten from, well, I guess the timeline doesn't really sync up with what I was about to say. It doesn't matter. He wouldn't have been in Mallrats if he didn't need the money.
I don't know. I'm just
I
saying.
like Mallrats.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like.
I think that he would do a lot of things for people who are passionate about things he's passionate about. Because that's the thing, even with Stanley's Comikaze. I mean, with the girl Reggie, what's her face, who created it, essentially was like just a fangirl who was like, "Hey Stan, do you want to do this thing?" And he, being a savvy businessman, was like, "Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Let's put this thing together. I'm into this. You're into this." So
I mean, he's definitely he's a businessman. I mean, like you said, he's a genius in terms of
like Amy's interpretation of your Stanley fantasy. She says, "What if God was one of us?" Like, yeah, that's basically it.
I mean, yeah, he's constantly trying to give back, but I just love that he's turned himself into a character. Really, I mean, he's got catchphrases and he's got this like such an iconic look and.
No, I will never get over, and I hope he lives another like 20 years, but I will never get over every Comikaze seeing him shout "Excelsior!"
I think he made a deal with a gypsy where every time he says "Excelsior," it gives him another day of life. And that's why he's still kicking. Like, he'll live forever as long as he gets a daily Excelsior in there.
I think you might be onto something.
Yeah.
For real. Any other highlights? Who did you interview? Because I actually wasn't there when you... Mack did the little interview. So my dog is eating my soup right now. Thanks, Gouge. Anyways, who did you interview?
I interviewed the writer of this comic, Silver. It's an indie comic that started like pretty much way off the radar. They weren't even solicited on Diamond, which is the comic book store distributor. But a customer turned me on to this comic that he found at just the booth at this con, the booth that this guy had, and it's a vampire comic, which is not rare, but,
no.
But it's really cool. And it took me a while to grasp it or just to be excited about it because it just sounded like, okay, well, what sets this apart from other vampire comics, because there's so many.
Yeah. But
the way he pitched it to me just sounded so fascinating because he was saying it's about. Or I'll just tell you. I'll pitch the story, but basically it's like a period piece, like 30s like era, and it's kind of got this like Indiana Jones kind of like pulp feel to it, where there's this adventurer, and he's like a thief, so he's got that cool like pulp thief thing going on where he's he's always stealing the most rare thing ever. But it was pitched to me as a vampire hunting comic because it's called Silver, and the cover had like a girl putting a silver sword like into a sheath. I was like, oh, okay, so it's got like this kind of Buffy like blade thing is what I expected. Right. But really, it's not like that. I like, so let me just preface this by saying that like I love vampire hunters. Like,
really?
I have a really big soft spot for them.
Interesting.
Like they are just like an underutilized, in my opinion, like trope in fiction. Like it's everywhere and nowhere. Because I feel
I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Like I can say like, oh, I love vampire hunters, and we're like, okay, well, give me an example, and I could give like the big ones, but then it kind of the list gets cut short after that. Like,
I guess that's true.
It goes into like, well, there are vampire stuff where there are hunters in it, but they're not really the main character.
Sure.
Like I've always liked that there was almost like this job created for horror movies where it's like, oh, monsters exist and men are here to hunt them, and like or not men, but humans. Humans. I just love that because humans were taking on monsters, and I always liked that. It made me feel like, oh, well, that's like a job I could have if I wanted to. Like in a fictional world, like I could do that, and that would be great because monsters are so scary, but these are who they are afraid of, so like that always appealed to me in this kind of like I don't know, like Batman kind of way. They always said like Van Helsing had like a very Batman vibe in terms of like all the gadgets he had.
Sure.
But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But Silver is a comic, and this guy, he steals. He basically figures out he becomes privy to this treasure, and it's this huge collection of silver that belonged to like Dracula or something. I can't remember. Some like king vampire, like some really important guy. And he's like, oh, like we got to do this job because their job that they just like it was supposed to be like their last job, of course. Like him and his team, like the fat guy, like the fat like skeptic, and like the skinny like computer wheels guy. Even though there's not really computers, but they've got like steampunky type tech. Anyway, he convinces them because this mission they do is a bust, and they're like, well, that was supposed to be our last job, so okay, this will be our last job. Like we go and find this silver.
That never ends well.
Right, but it's really cool because it's like this period piece, and they can't. The way that they have to go about tracking down the silver is really creative, and it's like this really interesting caper, and they end up putting this really neat like Ocean's 11 type crew together of people that can help them on this heist, and one of them is like this descendant of this lineage of vampire hunters, and she's like this really cool Buffy type Blade lady, and I've only read the first volume. The second volume hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
But they were like the first volume. They were mostly like, on a train, and they're like going to this vampire gala, and this guy they're with. They hired an actor to impersonate a like vampire, someone in like vampire royalty, because there's this big vampire meeting that they want to get into. Right. And it was really cool. I was hooked immediately. So when you told me we could interview people, and I saw that he had a booth, I was like, whoa, like I can go talk to that guy, like, and I could just do that, like, yeah, and I've read that comic. So I talked to him a little bit just about. I was really curious about like what inspired him to tell this kind of vampire story, because obviously when you're telling a vampire story in comics, it has to stand out because there's just so many, and why he chose to, set it in the time that he did, and it's in black and white, and like that's really important. He was a really fascinating interview, and honestly, I wish that I had talked to him more because I didn't even really get him to explain what the comic was about, and I think that's why I just wanted to do that, because when you talk to your guy, he talked about what the comic is about, and I was like, oh, I should have done that. So next time. I'll be more on top of it.
It was just, we just threw Mack in and was like, go, do this. So it's bit by bit,
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We're honing our skills as an electric Fancave team. But it was fun. It was cool to get that opportunity to be like, Mack was like, there is a guy I want to talk to, and, my getting to talk to Sebastian A. Jones and so forth, and it's just like I've said before about going to cons. I always feel so inspired by them. I go home and I really want to like create my own things more. I get more dedicated to what I've been doing. So it was a good old time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was good. I wish I had taken advantage of it more. It seemed like it was more of like like you said, the poor man's kind of con in a way, where there's like all these like really. I wish I had paid more attention to that, because I came away feeling very inspired, like you said, like I want to work on my ideas, and I could do that, like I could be there, like check out this booth, like okay, their idea is good, but my idea is like, way better than that.
Next year we'll go 2 days, one day that you can walk around in sweaty cosplay, and one day that you can be inspired and talk to people.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Anyways, we should move on to more pop culture things.
Yes, I forgot. I heard the whole thing this
Yeah, you don't have to like get all your talking in one segment. We're keeping you, Matt.
Yeah.
So in pop culture news, Kristen.
Yes.
Talk about what you sent me. Pop culture. Did we lose you? Do you not have the notes?
No, I do. Oh, is it the first thing on the notes? Okay. Sorry, I'll look at them. Yes. Oh, okay. So apparently, and this is very fuzzy. Even like reading it, I'm like, what exactly was happening?
Yeah, like what's happening here?
This hangout here is Jennifer Lawrence, Amy Schumer, Chris Pratt, and Aziz Ansari. You guys are all hanging out. So we know that Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt are currently filming The Passengers, which we've already are like. I'm almost looking more forward to the press tour than I am to the actual movie.
Right. For a very obvious reason.
We were already wherever they were filming that. And then somehow Amy Schumer and Aziz were also there. And I know, who knows? I mean, I know Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence are friends now. So all four of them were hanging out at this house. And there's like these adorable, wonderful videos of like them trying to wake someone up. Or Aziz and Chris Pratt like on a porch swing. It's like, what's happening right now? It's this
it's like too good to be true.
Right?
It is. And I'm thinking, like, how did we even survive this as a planet? Like, all of the funniest people currently that are alive were together, in one place.
Well, it's like that girl who just, like, exposed Instagram or whatever. It's like they just did it. They were all hired to do it, and they got paid, like, millions of dollars to make this video.
Epic hanging out video.
Just, like, big, it's all fake, and, like, they all hate each other in real life.
Yeah.
No, Matt, it's not fake. They love each other, and it was a wonderful, exciting weekend.
Well, either way.
No, my guess, I would imagine probably it was like, J.Law and Amy Schumer are working on a script together, so probably that's why they were there. And Chris Pratt is working on the movie, so there's three, and maybe he's like, hey, Aziz, why don't you come out? Or he was doing a show or something.
I think he was on tour, because he's...
I was going to say, he's probably touring.
They probably just, like, their schedules combined in that way, and they just had to make it happen. They're like, this is too good to be true. Like, they knew it too. They're like, we got to assemble.
And make something weirdly like, because this is so, especially with the way like Jennifer Lawrence does social media and stuff like that, where she's not really super on it. Like, it's not like she's not a Taylor Swift who's like, look at my squad, she appears occasionally in people's things, but like not really. And they're always so just sort of subdued, like, oh, here happens to be J.Law and Amy Schumer on a jet ski or whatever,
Right.
And so the fact that these are like such understated videos just fits that persona of being like, yeah, here they're just hanging out, just being people. We're not, no big deal.
Right, like it's like almost like this like shooting star of a thing where they're like we have to make sure that it's just like really rare and cool.
Super low key,
effortless.
Yeah, so I mean, they win the internet for that one. I can't. I want to be there so badly, and I think I've mentioned this before. Someone that we know from Pub Quiz, her daughter is working on that movie, and I'm just like waiting for the day when her Instagram has a picture of her with Chris Pratt and J.Law, and I'm gonna die of jealousy. I'm just gonna die straight up. I'm just gonna be like, the end. But I mean, I'm super excited for it. That's the coolest thing in the world. But oh my god, I want to do that. I'm quitting school. I'm going to work on Passengers. See you later, guys.
Yeah, that's what we need.
You know who else is delightful? Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my gosh.
Thank God someone else says it. Oh, well.
Because Mack,
someone else says it. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Not in the comic book community. It's hard.
I was not an early adopter. I won't lie to you. I was not a Ryan Reynolds fan back in the day. But how can you not be now?
People are dumb.
You can't not be. I mean, he's just one. I mean, come on.
Yeah. You may have seen around the internet this past couple of days since Halloween that Ryan Reynolds dressed as Deadpool on Halloween and took pictures with trick-or-treating children.
In the costume he stole from the set.
Because he's a treasure, you guys.
Yeah. A treasure. As Duncan put it, he's a Canadian treasure.
He is a Canadian. Well, and then also I clicked on this, I don't know if it was the same, it couldn't have been the same article, about how he got so buff for the costume.
Uh-huh.
Like under like superhero costumes, they always put like a little bit of synthetic muscle because no one can really like bulk out like that. But he just looked like absolutely so jacked with the synthetic muscles and his own muscles that they took out the synthetic muscles and they're like, it actually worked better because it was more of like a lean Deadpool, but he was like still fills it out like that's all him. I'm like,
what?
I was like, come on, freaking Ryan Reynolds, you're just a delight. And that video he made, remember, of him putting the crib together, which obviously was a commercial for something, was still the most fantastic thing I'd ever seen.
Oh, man. The gene pool of that couple is just bananas. Just bananas. Like, I feel
like their kids either going to be really beautiful or, like, really ugly.
Yeah, like, it can only go one of those.
It can only go one of those ways.
Yeah, they're not going to be average.
Go only one of those ways?
No, people can be average, Mac.
I guess you're right. People can be average.
But, like, with those features, you're one end of the spectrum or the other. You're not going to be, just like the girl next door. You're going to be...
Were you on board with Ryan Reynolds, like, during the proposal? Like, was that when you decided...
Oh, I love the proposal. Cool? Yeah, I think that's probably
would you say that was when it was like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds?
I think that's my turning point, is the proposal, because I will watch that movie literally every time I see that it's on TV. Every time. Like,
I'm not going to lie, that's not saying a whole lot. You say that about a lot of movies.
It's true. That's because I'm a fixator. I don't watch, like, a lot of things, but the ones I watch every freaking time they're on. Yeah. It's like Twister, Jaws, The Proposal. Oh, this reminds me, BT Dubs, Kristen, have you noticed a thing about TV? No, you haven't, because you're not near a TV. Hallmark Christmas movies have started.
Oh, I know. Sunday was the kickoff for Countdown to Christmas. Don't worry, I recorded all of the upcoming ones at my dad's house.
I'm coming over. Patty, Tom, I'm coming over.
My roommate and I were talking about having a day where we just, like, binge and just watch whatever's on that day all day. I was like, yes, I would like to do that, please.
I would like to be invited.
Or I might send a list to my dad and ask him to record, like, 8 for me that I can just watch.
I'm for
this.
Because
I have my favorites, because there's some I don't want to watch. But Snow Bride was going to be on Sunday night.
Snow Bride.
I know! And I was so sad I was going to miss it. I was like, no! Snow Bride.
They will play it 30 times in the next
I know. I think I'm guaranteed to see it. But it's like, Snow Bride was going to be on, and then I think on Monday it was going to be the Mrs. Miracle ones.
Oh, I love Mrs. Miracle so much.
And I did watch Fur Crazy was on Sunday morning, so I did watch that one.
Mack's incredulous face was the best face I think I've ever seen him make just now. Oh, Mack.
Yeah,
Hallmark Christmas movies. That's where it's at.
There is nothing better. And the one that I recorded on Sunday is going to be really good. It's got what's-her-face in it, Sarah Lancaster. Oh my God. I love her so much.
I'm down for most stuff. I'm open-minded. But I'm really specific about the Christmas movies I watch. So.
I am completely. I mean, there's ones that I definitely have to watch every year, but then. I mean, I told you how much my parents love these, right? They've bought them on DVD. Some of these.
It's like that feels like to me, part of it is the magic of catching it when it's on TV and watching it with the commercials for all the presents and all that, like Christmas decoration.
Maybe, but I also think it's hilarious that they bought. Like my mom, there's the one with we call it the one with the almost pretty people. It's actually on Netflix. It's the Christmas card. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. And then my dad loves the one with Henry Winkler and Brooke Burns.
That one's about Christmas?
Hell yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of what it's called, but I can't.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
See, also, they're all named after like Christmas songs, so it's really hard to keep track.
Or they're just like love and Christmas, or they're just like, oh, there's gonna be a new princess one this year with Danica McKellar.
Really, with Danica McKellar?
Because that's one of my favorite ones with the Katie McGrath, who has that like her American accent still sounds Irish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this season is for all of those at home. Again, this year we will have another Fancave episode where we evaluate the newest group of Hallmark movies because we did that last year too, and I think that's necessary. It's our public service.
You can totally come back and be on that episode if you want to be.
Sweet. I'm stoked. I can't wait.
Mack, our Hallmark Christmas movie correspondent.
All right, but I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna bring like a bag of, like those Mother's gingerbread men.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes. You made it sound like a threat.
No. I mean, I'm gonna be gracious and get ready because I can't wait.
I just enjoy you a lot. I'll just say that.
Let's one more Halloween thing.
Great.
There was this year, of course, Jimmy Kimmel once more did his favorite prank of having parents tell their children that he ate all their candy, and watching them react. And he got Mark Ruffalo to do it. Yeah, because Mark Ruffalo was on the show.
I thought they were just reposts of last time. So
it's a whole new stuff.
I didn't watch them because I was like, no, oh my god, I gotta watch that. It was
get on board. There's a whole new crowd. Yeah. Well, you feel bad for some, and then there's the ones that you're like, that kid is a demon. And
yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I hate just being like, oh, kids suck. Like, I like when I'm like, yeah, kids are awesome. Check that shit out.
Like, you're right. And it's like there's always like one. There's only like one kid usually who's awesome. The rest of them are pretty terrible.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I love. My favorite was the first one with the "you sneaky mom" kid.
My favorite was the one where the kid's like, he looks at her and he's like, "I'm very disappointed in you," or he says something very
very mature.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like, I'm just very disappointed in that, or something about like your choices, or I forget exactly, but whatever it was, I was like, yes. And that was the best one. The rest of them were like, I hate you, my life is over.
Like I couldn't believe the kids that just like believed it to the point where they're like, I'm gonna freak out. Like it just seemed like they wanted attention at that point, because like logically, if you woke up the next day and you're like, I ate all your Halloween candy, your parents did that to you, wouldn't you be like, okay, what are you gonna do to make it up to me? Like that would be my first thought. It wouldn't be like, you suck. Like how dare you do that? I'd be like, well, you messed up. That's a bad like I basically own you now. After that. Like
I would have just accepted it as a kid. That was there was no talking back at any point. If my parents did something, that was it. So I would have been like, oh.
No way. I was all about fairness in my house. It was like, if that ever happened, I'd be like, first of all, like, no.
Mack's an only child. That probably helps too.
Yeah,
fairness is a thing when there's only one of you.
An only child with a single parent. So there was there was enough money for two people. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I'd go to the toy store. Like, it was like true candy. Like, it'd be like next level. I'd be like, all right, Legos. Like, let's do this.
That's hilarious.
Anyway.
That was definitely not my frame of point. But my thing with Mark Ruffalo's kids, I think this is perfect because Mark Ruffalo is just like such a goofball, and I love him so much. And when he tells his kids that he ate all the candy, I feel like they totally buy it.
Right.
And
exactly.
so they run and they tackle him, and one of them says something hilarious like I'm gonna kill you or something like that. That's like really overwrought. But then there's just like this herd of like children tackling him, and you can hear them squealing and just like pounding on him. But like they're smiling. They're clearly not like upset, and he's yelling, "I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding." It's adorable.
He's adorable.
What'd you say, Matt?
How many kids does he have?
I don't know if they were all his. It looked like there were 4 or 5 in there.
Okay.
Like,
they're probably his.
There's a good
he
amount
always told that story about when he was with his daughter at preschool. Remember? And he's sitting there with, they're sitting there and they're playing in the sand or whatever you do, you know. And there's another little kid there. He's kind of staring at Mark Ruffalo, you know. And he's like, "Are you the Hulk?"
Oh, cool.
And before he can answer, Mark's daughter goes, "Yeah." Like, yes, he is. And she's like, you know, because he's about to be like, well, you know. She's like, uh-huh, you know. And he's like, really? You know? And then I think what it's like, what does he say? I think the kid's like, oh, like all excited. And he's like, you know. And then I think the daughter goes like, oh, do you want to see? And the kid kind of looks at him, and Mark is like, and he kind of like takes this deep breath, and the kid's like, no, don't do it. But he's like,
that's so
like,
cute.
Hulk out, and the kid's like, don't ruin the preschool.
Oh my god.
He was telling this. I think he was telling it to Jimmy Fallon, this story.
Yeah. Props to that kid for having that response, like being like, no, don't do it. It's a bad idea. I would have been like,
yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
let's do this right now.
Destroy what you got to destroy. I want to see it happen. Let's go.
No, that kid, I respect that kid a lot. He took it to the next level. He's like, I know you're the Hulk and I believe you, and this is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like Like, I respect the Hulk. Why do you think I was in awe of you earlier? No, that's so awesome. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that would have just made my life if I could have that happen. My baby cousin, or no, she's not a baby. She's in preschool, so she's like 4 or 5. She goes to school with Tobey Maguire's son, and so sometimes when we go to pick her up, I'm like, oh, Tobey Maguire. He was at the Christmas pageant, and I was there, and I was so Peter Parkered out. Because, I had, my camera, and I was, taking pictures of her, and, I was, focusing it and whatever. And I had my glasses on, and I was just, looked over, and I was like, whoa! I wonder if he's checking out how Spider-Man I am. I really wanted to go say something, but I was like, I'm too old now. I'm in college. I can't be like, are you Spider-Man?
I would have loved that, though.
Yeah.
18-year-old kid comes up, Are you Spider-Man, sir?
Yeah. Part of me wanted to just meet him so I could check mark it off next to Andrew Garfield.
Next to Andrew Garfield. Yeah. I meet all the Spider-Mans eventually.
Excuse me, but have you met me?
Right. Anyways, that was delightful. I just add one weird story for the day. Today, Heather is sending GIFs. Here we go. Today was election day in many locales throughout this fine nation. And on one of them in Ohio, there was apparently one about legalizing marijuana. And it turns out that Nick Lachey of 98 Degrees has,
oh my God, did you watch this GIF she just sent?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my gosh!
This is where I'm looking between Twitter and Facebook is where these things are, Mac.
Oh.
Heather.
How do I tweet?
Heather.
How do you tweet?
Heather.
All right, I'm gonna look at it. But while I look for this tweet, Nick Lachey apparently owns stock in or some controlling share of a company that would basically have a monopoly on the production of weed in the state of Ohio.
What?
Yeah. So Nick Lachey, this company that Nick Lachey works with, and so if this law gets passed, Nick Lachey of the 90s boy band 98 Degrees will basically be a kingpin of marijuana in the state of Ohio, which is my favorite thing that has happened today. So I just needed to throw that out there. Oh boy, let's see what GIF do we have. Oh my God! So the GIF that Heather sent us is Mark Ruffalo with his arms around Tom Hiddleston doing some sort of strange.
It's like a dance or rocking or.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston clearly doesn't know entirely what to do with it.
He's going with it. He's going with it because he's wonderful.
Yeah, because he's wonderful, and it's a delight. And oh no, Matt, this one is for you.
No, but how do I find it? I'm on Twitter now.
Okay, now Heather's including you in the tag, Mac, so you should be able to see it because she was only tagging me and Kristen or whatever on it. He sent a Spider-Man.
I saw the deodorant one.
Nick Lachey. Oh gosh.
Oh Lord. So yeah, that's my weird pop culture thing of the day. Is Nick Lachey has now, and this is perfect. Nick Lachey deodorizing himself and the deodorant bar falling out. Yeah, how do you find these things, Heather? How do you find these things?
She is a gift.
She really does.
Don't hide that under a bushel basket, Heather.
Oh no, do not. It's incredible. But yeah, so let's move on to TV news, and 2 TV newses have to do with Johns on HBO. One of which is, hey, you guys, Jon Stewart is coming to HBO.
What? I'm kind of confused as to exactly what he's doing. They were very
confusing.
Digital media, but only sometimes when he feels like it.
Wait. Yeah. Can you explain to me what it is? Because I didn't look it up.
No. Because the thing is,
that's what it is.
He's doing something on HBO that is some form of short form content. on it.
Don't know if it's like political or if it's just creative or
yeah, and it's not going to be. It sounds like it's not going to be as regular as like Last Week Tonight is every Sunday or whatever the case may be.
Right.
It's like they want to have sort of something that can be ongoing and updated. It sounded like throughout the day as things happen, and
but
so it's not going to be as
He's only contracted for like not that many.
But wait,
Yeah,
it's going to be like a regularly scheduled thing, right? Like
I guess
a time slot,
Good
predictable.
it was very vague as to how it's going to work out. So I don't know. But somehow he's coming back, and given the success of John Oliver, I think that's super cool. And it's kind of fun that now he's following, since he's following like John Oliver's footsteps. It's like a reversal sort of thing. Oh, I like this. Scott Larson says, since Twitter got smart, thinks all I want to know is what Cassandra Rules and Nerds Rocket are up to. So machine learning is real. Hi, Scott. Yeah, this is what I'm up to right now. Thanks, Twitter, for informing people of what I'm doing at all times. Oh, Job! Heather sent a Job magic gif. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-da-da.
We were just talking about that the other day.
We were?
No, not you. Like we as in me and my squad were talking about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not a part of the Mack squad.
No, like
Corey, guess what? You're not in Mack's squad.
Hashtag squad goals don't include me.
squad.
Whatever.
For me, it's I operate on like a crossover basis. So it's like.
So what's your main property, and then what's your...
Well, it's like, I'm like Wolverine. Like, I'm on the X-Men, but I'm also an Avenger, and I'm also on X-Force, and I'm also on, the headmaster of the school, and I don't even, like, it doesn't even matter. Too long. Moving on. But yeah, it's like that. So you're the Avengers, or you're
I'm
something.
somewhere.
You're something.
I won't make you rank me yet, but you can think about it.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, also on HBO though, John Oliver. This is ridiculous.
And I was like, oh.
I don't even like. This seems like Donald Trump. I don't even know. Donald Trump came out and said that he had been invited on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but like he said no because it's a boring show and a waste of his time, and
no one watches it.
And no one watches it.
Yeah.
To which John Oliver responded, "This is true. We do have a boring show, but we never invited Donald Trump to be on it." Why would you even bring it up?
Here's the thing. Like at this point, cataloging all the stupid stuff he does is just ridiculous, because it's just like all it does is make you more and more angry that people are still following him.
Right.
It's
so true. You're like,
yeah.
Come on.
Like, all right, this is a stupid thing. Here's another stupid thing. Like, how about just the fact that he said that they found that interview of him saying that if he was going to run for president, he'd be a Republican because they're stupid.
Oh, that was not real though. That was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was fake? Okay.
Yeah, it said like 1998 on Fox News, which at the time Fox News was not really like a thing. It was only vaguely a thing. But
Okay,
I mean, that's what makes it so believable is the fact that he says ridiculous things.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it's like you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. I don't think he's smart enough to think that way. But also, this may be my favorite of all Heather GIFs. We got the mom jeans for the squad goals here. And that is my general squad goals. In fact, I want to recreate this. You guys, can we like recreate the mom jeans photo shoot video?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what this is?
But I wanted to tell you.
I love the elastic waist ones at my Rudolph house.
Yeah.
I tap on those.
Taps
on the elastic waist. Mac, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I wanted to send you this meme I found the other day that was like, that was the first, I wanted to say that was the first time I ever called my friends in my squad. It's separate from you. It seemed appropriate. But coincidentally enough, I found a meme the other day that I was going to send you that was like, it was like a picture of a text, and it was like the person in your squad that's like the mom that you could like go to for advice and like, how to just be an adult and like person around and stuff. and I wanted to send that to you, like, oh, this is you,
And then you were like, I'm calling Corey a mom again. Maybe I shouldn't.
Corey
I'm
like
saying,
flips you off. She's like,
I was like, oh, no. I am such a, I just feel like, so I'm like, oh, you can adult, and I look at you on there, person.
Yeah, I like that you use the phrase "person around." That's it.
It's the.
Oh, is this fading out for anyone else,
how
or
it
is it just
feels.
me?
yeah, he's super sketchy there.
Okay. Here, sorry, Mac, your thing was sort of choppy. So
Oh.
I think you might be okay, but talk a little bit for a second just to see if we're back.
Hello?
Okay, it seems essentially back.
It's run by fruiting. I saw the whole thing.
But I'm, I will wear that mother role, the badge of honor. I'm glad to know you think I adult okay.
I don't even know if mom is even part of it, but it was important. That was the key part.
You can't take that back, Mac. You can't try and backtrack on saying just call
Genie,
Corey the mom that we go to life advice for. We all heard it. It's already out there.
It happened.
You just met my mom, and
I did. I just met his mom.
You're like the mom from Mean Girls. You're like a cool mom.
I'm a cool mom.
You're like regular mom. You're a cool mom.
Yeah, but it's like effortless though. It's not like trying really hard.
At least, well, yeah. I don't know if this was before I was the babysitter. Mac compared me to being like a babysitter, so
wow.
I don't know if this is an upgrade or downgrade, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mac, we need you to explain to us Preacher.
Okay.
Right now.
Right now. And hopefully your thing won't cut out.
It's like, all right, yeah. Note is a Vertigo comic, which is DC's independent imprint. So it's basically like Image, but it's owned by the creators, still own their comic. And it's by Garth Ennis, and it's this really famous, like super long. I think there's like a 12 volumes or something. I don't know. I've only read the beginning, like the first couple volumes of it, but it's like from the 90s, and it's this really hardcore, like for at the time, very controversial for how just like hardcore it gets. Just Garth Ennis, his thing. He likes to write like that, but it's about a preacher who's gifted the. Guys, I really hope I don't mess this up.
That's all right. We mess things up all the time.
People really like Preacher, so I don't want to. But people do scare me. But he's basically given I think it's like the grace of God, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like something from God, a gift, and it gives him this power. And he was a preacher and like a regular kind of preacher. And then this thing happened, and a bunch of people died because of it. That he got this power, and he now is like a jaded, cool preacher. And he hangs
I'm not like a regular preacher. I'm a cool preacher.
He's got long hair and
who wants a hump day treat?
He's got they gave Dominic Cooper that cool modern haircut.
Yeah.
And he teams up with an Irish vampire named Cassidy, who's great.
So that's who he's in the jail cell with in the trailer.
Yeah. He's easily the most popular part of the comic book. He's kind of like a mix between Dale from King of the Hill and Deadpool, I guess, would be.
That's a really good mix. I like that.
That would be what you get out of Cassidy, but people would give I bet Preacher fans Deadpool's lame. How dare you compare him to that? But anyway, and his ex-girlfriend Tulip, and they go around and they go on adventures, really dark, gross adventures that involve really gross, dark things that should be on HBO, but are going to be on FX. So we'll see how that goes. Not FX.
FX doesn't, or AMC, yeah. They have some boundaries, I suppose, but it looks like so a trailer came out today, and you can find that on our blog on electricbeast.com for the AMC show, and it looks like it's going to be hyper violent and crazy.
Well, the violence you can get away with, but the violence is just it's the tamest part of Preacher.
Oh.
like it really gets really gross and like really intense with stuff that they've cut out of the Walking Dead show. Like the little of it that's in Walking Dead isn't in the TV show. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to interpret Preacher for the channel, because part of me feels like they could get away with it, like if they were like just a little bit more subtle about it and they didn't show it in as overt as the comic does.
Right.
I would be disappointed if they got rid of all of it, because as messed up as it is, it really gives the comic its charm, and I really feel like if at one
charm the right word you're looking for? Then?
Yeah. Charm is the right word I'm looking for. Like it's what gives it its niche, or like its novelty, or like it's what gives it its appealing quality. Like you like it in a way. Yeah, like watching a car accident or something. Like it's got that kind of appeal to it.
Yeah, but it's not charming, is my point. I just feel like you're using that word, but you don't know what it means, is what my answer is.
It's charming. It's charming you, but like in an uncomfortable way.
But it's not charming you. It's charming you.
Well, you
Cary Grant is charming. Okay.
Okay. Let me put it like this.
People being mutilated is not charming.
It's charming in a way where, like, you won't admit to anyone else you find it charming, and you'll like be charmed by it in the dark in your own room, like
that's not true, because I feel like we need to look up the definition of the word.
Yeah, this is a definitional issue here.
This is the issue I'm having. Like, people are very fluid with the words now, but this is.
I'm not going to back down, because when I first read Preacher in high school, I was
pleasing or delightful. So you're going to say that the sick, gross, disgusting, depraved, awful things that happen are charming. Sorry, pleasing and delightful. Much like a charming child.
Well, no, because I'm not a psychopath. I'm not going to say it's like a charming child.
The example sentence that they give you is a charming child.
Well, that's a very biased sample. I understand.
Okay, how about the power or quality of giving delight or arousing admiration?
Okay, so yes, it has that quality. Okay, in the same way that people... Okay, so I understand if you guys don't feel that way, but like an example would be like the movie like Heavy Metal, where people can be like charmed by how metal something is. It's like in that quality. It's like, whoa, like that was so hardcore, and you're like, yeah, like you're impressed by it, like that was really, like, it was so extreme in a way that it's got this like novel appeal to it, and I feel like charming is an appropriate response. It was an appropriate description of it. All right. But mostly because when I first read it, I hated it, and then read it again and was like, oh, I kind of like it in a weird way. So like, coming off of my personal opinion of the book. But yeah.
And of the word charming.
Yeah, charming. You can put it right on the back, right on the comment by me. I was charmed by Preacher.
Yeah, blurb that.
We really should go, if there's like a Amazon or Goodreads review, we should go on to that's
charming.
That's a charming read.
I found it delightful.
What the F? Charming.
Oh gosh. It looks interesting though. Mac, do you think you'll watch it?
Oh my god, totally. I'm so excited. Like,
when does it start? Did it say in
next
there?
Next year. Sometime next year. I don't know. Probably in like I don't know.
I guess we're not that far from next year. I'm like, next year, and I'm like,
come on.
A month away. No, but yeah, it will probably be, I don't know, like hopefully not as far as summer, but probably if I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be in their January releases.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be that soon.
But yeah, so there's that. There's also a new Star Trek show in the works.
But apparently they don't want anyone to actually watch it.
Right? This is the most frustrating thing. So what they're doing with it, Alex Kurtzman, who wrote the first, the new Trek, if you will, is writing it, show running for it. And which is fine. At least it's not Bob Orchie. I'm okay, I guess. But what they're doing is they're going to show the pilot on CBS, and then the rest of them through CBS's proprietary streaming service.
That's kind
And
of
the
what.
reason I don't watch CBS shows is because I don't want to watch them on streaming, so if I get behind, I can't watch them. And so they literally have made it so you cannot, like someone like me who's not going to sit on my computer and watch the show will never see it.
Why don't they just do what they did with Aquarius and just also keep airing it on TV?
Also do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like especially because the ratings are going to be awesome.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I
like
mean,
it's not like people aren't going to watch it. If you don't have faith in a show, sure, put it online. But like this is going to be something that like generations of fans have been waiting for and want to watch.
Yeah.
So why would you not put it on TV?
Yeah, it's especially dumb that because that's really what I thought made Aquarius successful. Is like, you could go and watch all the episodes right now if you wanted.
Yeah. Which is what I did.
Yeah.
I binge watched them.
Or you could watch it on TV if you wanted to have that experience.
Yeah.
But the other thing is they put them on demand too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, is CBS going to do that? Because that would be awesome. Also, like, is it just because their streaming service sucks and they want to give it attention?
I don't know. I mean, they're CBS. They do what they want. Like they're like, we're the #1 rated network in America. Middle America watches us, so screw you, everyone. We do what we want. But it's frustrating because if you've ever watched anything streaming on CBS, it has more commercials than you can possibly imagine. I mean,
like more than Hulu?
Way more than Hulu. Hulu, you have at most a minute and a half of commercials. Yeah. And a commercial break on CBS when you stream is about 5 minutes to 6 minutes. And they're the same number of them that you would get on TV. So I'm like,
what's the point? What's the point?
Right.
Yeah, like you can't...
It kills me.
Yeah, I could DVR it.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't just like even Showtime is on Hulu now. Why, like, if CBS is really concerned, make it like an add-on that you pay for on Hulu or whatever. Right. But it's just silly to not stream their stuff where people can get to it.
So is there some kind of campaign for them to change that?
The Star Trek thing?
Yeah.
I mean, the news only came out like yesterday, right? So I don't know if that's.
We're talking about it.
We are talking about it, but I don't know.
This is the start of the campaign.
This is it right here on the Fancave. We're starting it.
If enough people got behind it, I would be surprised if they didn't.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of criticism about this, so I feel like they should. Well,
then I guess that's what I kind of meant with their criticism.
Yeah, there's definitely criticism of this choice, and I think I don't know. For me, it feels like right now networks are trying to figure out what do we do in the streaming age. Like this is what people are doing. And a lot of times they're making a lot of missteps and trying. I'm a Hulu enthusiast. I wish everything were on Hulu, all that kind of stuff. And I constantly talk about how amazing it is that they have the add-ons with Showtime and the add-ons of the like no commercials thing. They're doing all this amazing stuff. Long says they're scared it might end up like Enterprise, sad and forgotten.
I haven't forgotten it. Power Man was on Enterprise.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you, Long?
I'm with you, Long. I didn't even know Enterprise existed till it had been off the air for several years.
No, it has my TV dad on it.
I know. Scott Bakula is wonderful, but
he's also now on a CBS show, so...
He is, yeah. What show?
NCIS New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's it. I was like, one of those. I assume everything's an NCIS on CBS.
Yes, that's a safe bet.
Yeah, it's an NCIS something or other. So there's that. Yeah. And then the other TV news that we have also. I'm ending on a
Corey's very upset. It's okay. Corey's upset. So there's the Stephen King book out. It's called 11/22/63. I'm actually not going to tell you what it's about. You should know, because it's just ridiculous if you don't, based off that date. So,
well, I guess like
to me and to America, frankly.
It sounds like it could be about a lot.
Well, clearly it's going to have to do something with the assassination of JFK. It's about a guy who goes back in time to try to...
No, you should not have done that, because I really think people should have known that fact. That's a thing people should have known.
People should know that, but regardless, it's about a guy who goes back in time to try to keep JFK from being murdered, because there's like this time warpy portal thing in a diner. They've started releasing pictures from it. if it weren't James Franco, I'd be super excited because it looks super cool. I was reading about how they shut down Dealey Plaza to like film for it. I was like, oh, but they kept the 6th floor museum open. My joint. I should have used my Dealey Plaza mug while we talked about this. But I'm like so torn because I want to watch it because I love Stephen King. I love JFK. Enthusiastic about this book, and they put Franco in it, so I'll probably still watch it. I'm just gonna begrudgingly watch it and hope that he actually like acts for once, for the first time ever. Maybe James Franco will act, and it'll be exciting.
First time ever, we can dance all night.
This is good. In my head, I thought you were doing like, for the first time ever, we're seeing things eye to eye. Goofy movie, because that's like a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to like sidetrack this or anything, but I just want to let you guys know that my computer might die, and if that happens, that's why I go away. I just wanted you guys to know that.
Okay.
So,
Appreciate that.
But keep going.
Hurry up. We're almost
Yeah,
done.
we're almost done. We're almost done. And the final thing.
Last thing. We got two little mini teaser trailers for Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is the follow-up to Alice in Wonderland, for those of you who don't know that.
Am I the only one who didn't know this was a thing?
I didn't know it was a
Yes,
thing until
I
like
knew
a
it was a
month
thing,
ago.
and
You
I
knew
just
this
didn't care because I didn't like the first one. Thought it was weird.
I liked the first one fine.
Yeah, I must have seen it. I actually don't know if I did. I don't know.
It was fine. Like it was just a movie. I had no like qualms with it. I didn't think it was like there needs to be a sequel.
Well, I didn't think it needed to be made in the first place, but
well.
anyway, so
but
we got, and
none of
people are
our
excited.
business.
I actually liked the trailer of the first little teaser is Alice falling out of a door through the sky, and the first one is you get like a shadow of the queen.
The queen, yeah.
Kind of coming out. That was my thing about her. Like, why didn't they just make Helena Bonham Carter be the queen instead of making her face all weird and they did that weird thing. I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? But so anyway.
I know.
But anyway, so it's happening. That's coming out next year. People seem to be very excited. I don't care either way. I probably won't see it because I didn't care for the first one, although I don't actually know if I
have not seen it. We're not sure.
Or also may not have seen it. That's the impression it made on me.
Yeah, apparently. No, I mean, I enjoyed the first one fine. It was not like my favorite movie in the world or anything like that, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. But like I said, I didn't think it was necessary for them to make another one, and I had no sense that they were doing that. Oh, Sean points out, by the way, Kristen, we were being very ethnocentric here. Up in Canada, unless we take American history as an elective in high school, all we have is Nicolas Cage's character in National Treasure regarding important historical dates. That's a good point. There is no reason for you in Canada to know what November
or Luke,
22nd,
if Luke is watching, he probably know what time it is in South Africa.
Yeah, Melanie, you don't need to know what it is. Anyone outside of the U.S.
Right. Good point. I was talking, I guess, to our American cohorts there.
Yeah, plus, like, what if I had focused on memorizing that when I was in school and not everything I know about comics? You wouldn't even have me on the podcast.
It's a very good point. You would be useless to us if you knew things like
I would just be a boring, average dude. Like, I probably
sort of a defining moment in our history.
Yeah, but
hold on, who are you calling boring here? All right.
Yeah. Also, I'm
we
offended.
have a podcast,
I hope
Matt.
your computer dies soon so that you will leave.
I'm not saying you're boring. I'm saying I would be boring.
Well, you're saying that I'm boring. The fact that I memorize those facts instead of memorizing all the comic books.
You can assume that, but
I can't because I'm charming and wonderful, Mac. That's why.
No, because if I had focused on memorizing that date as much as I focused on comic books, I would just be, I don't even know, some like freaky calendar man.
You would probably win hella bank on Jeopardy, though.
Oh, maybe.
Put in the same amount.
Probably still
we would have had you on because we had someone who won a lot of money on Jeopardy. So.
Well, Jeopardy isn't as cool as winning money in Geeks Who Drink, I guess, right?
That's right. You win a lot less money on that. So.
I don't even care. It's about.
You don't win any money on Geeks Who Drink.
I won some money, just not a lot.
Oh, that Geeks Who Drink. I thought you meant like the actual one that we go to. It was like, I don't know if I count a $25 gift certificate back to Dirty Nellies as winning money.
For me it is.
Yeah, that's hey, that's a couple of brews right there, Kristen. That's nothing to scoff at. Anyways, that's our show for this week. Episode 80. Amazing. Mac, thanks for joining us for it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, for this week, thank you all for watching and listening. If you're listening to this later on the old interwebs, make sure that you follow us on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all those things so we can keep in touch and talk to you all the time. Make sure if you like us that you rate and review us and share the episodes. I mean, why not? Get your friends into it so you can talk about it around the water cooler at work or whatever. Whatever the case may be. You can follow Mack on Twitter, Mack G. Petersen with an E, or with multiple E's, but instead of an O. Three whole E's. Mack G. Petersen on there. And did I miss anything? Go to the blog. The blog on electricfeast.com. Oh, sorry, what, Mac?
Nothing. Keep going.
To see all the links and everything that we talked about, go to electricfeast.com and you can check out the blog. So until next time, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristen Latterell.
I'm Mac. Crushed it!
Peace out, everybody! Oh, Lord.